President Xi Jinping vowed to boost China's footprint in Latin America and the Caribbean with a $9 billion credit line and fresh infrastructure. Is this Beijing's attempt to displace the US as the region's primary development partner?
Well, thank you very much for having me on. Well, whether Beijing wants to displace the US or not, a change is afoot in this part of the world. Colombia being, well, the next country of some of 20 in Latin America that have signed up to this Belt and Road program. Of course, Colombia has been a long-term ally and the mainstay of US cooperation and, of course, the greatest ally in the region for the United States. So it's very interesting to watch and see what's happening on what is right now a fraught relationship between Colombia and the United States. And this deal with China has only created a little bit more tension.
And she also promised leaders, including Brazilian President Lula da Silva and Colombian counterpart Gustavo Petro, that China would import more from Latin America and encourage its firms to boost investment. If Latin America becomes further indebted to China and more invested in trade, what will that mean, not just for global trade, but for the geopolitics of the region?
Well, it's a tough one to answer straight away. Obviously, the issues of, and of course, what the United States will be saying now is that, well, you're signing up for these deals with an administration that hangs crippling debt over you, and of course, it's an authoritarian regime. But at the same time, when you look at the nations such as Brazil, but Brazil has more to offer, of course, than Colombia. But Brazil and Colombia, and of course Chile. It's very hard for these countries to turn down that kind of money, that kind of promises from China.
How invested is Trump, though, in Latin America? I mean, given his stance and rhetoric on immigration from the southern border, what does he have to lose if China increases its footprint there?
It's a good question. The issue really with Trump at the moment is he sees Colombia in particular, Colombia where I'm based, he sees Colombia through the prism of organized crime and migration, illegal immigration. So he sees us through that prism and nothing more. More important to him at this moment in time, of course, is Panama, our neighbor to the north. And so we don't really think South America, Latin America looks to the United States right now. And this is another missed opportunity for strengthening ties. We've felt it feels down here that Trump's policies towards Latin America are punitive rather than those of someone in the same hemisphere working towards, let's say a more inclusive future.
Right. Now, Brazil warned the region not to become overly reliant on foreign funding, but Brazil, for one, has been aligning more closely with China. How can the region then reconcile its debt and infrastructure dependence on the two biggest economies while maintaining a broader sense of autonomy and prosperity?
Well, President Lula in Brazil is far more pragmatic. He knows what to say on the global stage, and he's got difficulties at home. So, of course, he says the right thing. But this collaboration, Brazil, Colombia, Chile, it's a collaboration that is showing that these countries in the global south are no longer restricted to trade and diplomatic relationships with the United States and Europe. So it's about diversifying, a necessary diversifying of relationships, diplomatic and commercial.
Right. Richard McColl, really appreciate your insights today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.